All right, so when it comes to achieving the goal of accomplishing your first dropshipping sale, for this to happen, someone obviously needs to enter their credit card details. And I know on the surface, this might seem very obvious, but the reason why I felt like it was important for me to put this as the final step is because a lot of beginners tend to overlook it. When in reality, this is what building an e-commerce business actually comes down to. You need to make sure that you've structured your store in a way that people trust it enough for them to enter their credit card details into your website. If you're able to remember this from day one, then you're going to be in a better position than a lot of other people that are trying to build a dropshipping business. Reason being is because you're going to be able to structure your business in a way knowing that you're targeting real life people. The mistake that a lot of people make when it comes to building an e-commerce store is that all they think about is the money. And when you only think about making money, you totally neglect the human element of building an online business. And this is something that I try and remember with everything that I do nowadays, because it's so easy to get caught up in all of the numbers, whether it's numbers in terms of the amount of traffic that you're getting to your website, or whether it's the numbers in terms of how much revenue you're generating. But with all of the different numbers that you're going to deal with when it comes to running a dropshipping business, as long as you're able to remember that you're dealing with real people, that's the point where you're going to be able to structure your store in a way that someone's going to trust you enough to enter their credit card details into your website. But for this to have been possible, the thing that needed to happen before this is that the customer would have needed to find the product page. So it's impossible for the customer to buy the product that you're selling without them landing on the product page first. And the reason why I felt like it was important for me to let you guys know this is because when it comes to building your store, you need to make sure that you have an understanding of how you're going to target the right customers. Because if you're targeting the wrong type of customer and they're landing on the product page, then you're of course not going to be able to accomplish your goal of getting your first official dropshipping sale. And of course, there's so many different ways that you can target potential customers. There's various different free methods and paid methods, but whichever method that you decide to go with, it's all going to come down to whether you're using intent-based targeting and non-intent-based targeting. And for those of you that have never come across these two different terms before, what intent-based targeting means is that you're going after someone that has specifically typed in a keyword for the item that you're selling. And of course, using this particular targeting method, you're going to increase your chances of you getting your first sale because you know that they're actively looking to buy whatever product that you're selling. However, on the flip side, when it comes to using non-intent-based targeting, this is essentially things like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and TikTok ads. And of course, you can target people on these social media platforms with things like their interest and the type of posts and pictures and videos that they like. But because they didn't open up their social media app with the mindset that they're going to buy something, that's the reason why your chances of being able to get your first sale might be a bit reduced. And just to bring it back to the main point that I'm trying to make, which is that when it comes to you being able to find the right customer that's come across your product page and proceeded to buy your item, the way that you're going to be able to increase your chances of this happening is going after customers that have shown that they're interested in buying the items that you're selling. But of course, for you to increase your chances for more and more potential customers to come across your product page, it's always ideal for you to make sure that you're listing multiple different products on your website. Now, there's a few people out there that have had positive experiences when it comes to building a one product store, which is where you're going to list maybe 1 to maybe 3 different products. And from there, you're going to be able to make $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, so on and so forth. But the way that I've been successful over the years when it comes to building Shopify websites is making sure that I've got multiple different products on my store that customers can buy. This is something that you wouldn't necessarily think of doing if you are a complete beginner, because most people believe that they need to have 5, 10, 20, maybe 25 products for them to be successful. And that's definitely true. But imagine if you have 50, maybe 100, maybe 150, even 200 products on your store, then you're obviously going to increase your chances for customers to see your product page and then buy your item. And of course, the main goal here is for us to get our first dropshipping sales. So for you to be able to accomplish this, you need to make sure that you've got multiple different opportunities for multiple different customers to come across the items that you're selling, because it eventually turns into somewhat of a snowball effect where you're initially going to be able to get 1 sale from a customer and then eventually get 2 or 3 sales from that same customer because they're obviously interested in that particular niche. And then the more customers that you get, the more potential revenue that you can make, which means that you're going to be able to now make more profit. And that's all going to stem from the fact that you listed multiple different websites on your store. And there's various different ways that you can do this. Of course, you can do it manually, one by one, copy and pasting all of the images, the description, the product information from your supplier's website. Or what you can do is use a software like AutoDS, which kind of makes the whole process super simple because you're going to be able to sign up for an account for completely free for a 30-day trial by clicking the link in my description down below. And once you connect your AutoDS account to your Shopify store by clicking on this option over here, you're then going to be able to go through the step-by-step process of clicking on this option and adding a single product, or you can add multiple different products at the same time. So if you're considering to use any one of these popular supplier options, for example, AliExpress, Walmart, Amazon, CJ Dropshipping, Etsy, eBay, Alibaba.com, etc., being able to add 20, 30, 50, 100, 200 products at a single time isn't going to be difficult when it comes to using AutoDS. All right, so moving on to one of the initial things that you're going to need to do throughout this entire process, because remember, we're working from the end goal in mind by using reverse engineering, which is that before you're able to list multiple different products to your website, you obviously need to make sure that you know exactly what a winning product is. If you're able to fully understand what a winning dropshipping product is, when it comes to you now listing all of those different products to your store, you're obviously going to increase your chances than you just listing a whole bunch of garbage. And right here, I've broken down the 5 different elements to what I believe a winning dropshipping product is. And one of the first things is that you want to make sure that it's selling between $30 to around $70. If you're able to come across an item that another store is successfully selling and they're also selling it between this price range, then this may also be an item that you might want to consider selling yourself, because if the item is priced too low, e.g. lower than $30, then there's not going to be any real profit there. And if the item is priced higher than $70, this may cause headache over the long term, because when it now comes to dealing with refunds and exchanges and lost items, it's going to be very costly if you do decide to sell an item for around $150, $200, so on and so forth. The second element of a winning dropshipping product is that you want to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position where you're going to be able to get repeat orders. Of course, not all of the items in my store require customers to come back again, but if I've made sure that at least 80, 70% of the products available on my website require customers to come back once they finish using it, this is going to put my business in a position where it's going to be able to generate even more profit over the long term. The next thing is that you want to make sure that you're able to build a brand around whatever item that you found. If you believe that it's going to be difficult for you to come up with a store name, a logo, a color scheme for whatever category that you've come across, then this may not be the product that you want to focus on. The fourth element of a winning dropshipping product is if it's small and lightweight. This goes back to what I said earlier in terms of when it comes to dealing with refunds, exchanges, and all of that type of stuff. You don't want to be dealing with bulky, heavy items, because when it comes to the postage fee that you're going to have to pay for you to ship the order to the customer in the first place, that's going to be really expensive. And if the customer now wants to send it back to you, you're going to have to pay for that postage, and that's going to be even more expensive. And then if you now have to send the item back to your supplier, you're obviously going to be left with no profit, and you're most likely going to make a loss. So I would say that 99% of the items that I'm selling fall under this category of being small and lightweight, because I know that if I focus on selling these type of items, it's going to lead to the fifth element of a winning dropshipping product, which is that you want to make sure that you're focused on items that have a low return rate. You don't want to fall into the trap of selling high electrical items or products that customers are most likely going to return, because all this is going to end up doing is cause an additional headache that you already have to deal with when it comes to you growing an e-commerce business as a complete beginner. But whatever the case is, if you're able to remember everything that we discussed in today's video and work with the end goal in mind, you're definitely going to be able to get to the point of accomplishing your first dropshipping sale. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to press the like button. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe as well and hit the bell notification. And if you want to watch a completely free webinar where I explain my story as to how I was able to get to over $1,000 per day with one of my first ever Shopify websites, then you can watch that free webinar by clicking the first link in the description down below. And if you also want to watch another YouTube video that I made not too long ago where I break down step by step what you need to know when it comes to finding the best winning product to sell with your dropshipping business, then you can watch that video by clicking the link right there. Make sure you check that out straight after this one, because it's already helped out so many people, and I'm sure that it's going to help you out too. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Make sure you stay safe out there. Peace.